What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. All right, guys, so now since we got that filth out the way, we have talked about the worst matches of 2022. Now we have to go into what our best matches of, in our personal opinion, of 2022 are. And honestly, there were a lot of good matches here. I actually have 13, I would say, but I 3 of them are honorable mention, and then the rest are going to make it in my top 10. If Prime has a match, fair warning, they put it out there right to you guys right now. I did not see any of the New Japan matches, such as, Will Ospreay versus insert name here, because I know I forgot who some of the matches were. He had some great matches this year, great matches. I didn't get a chance to go see all of them. Prime watches New Japan more than I do. He has more access to New Japan than I do, so I can't go on and watch any of those kind of matches. So none of those matches will be on my list. My list does contain AEW and WWE matches. I know people will say Josh Alexander's had a damn good match of the year candidate.
With who?
Who was that person he just fought like last month?
I know you ain't talking about Bully Ray.
Is that the one? Well, no. Who was the one that I think it was supposed to be somebody that he fought that Bully Ray came out and accepted the match with Bully Ray? I don't know who it was.
Cass?
Was it Cass? I'm not sure. Somebody told me Josh Alexander's had a great match with one of them people. I was just like, I don't watch Impact like that to care.
I know he fought Kazarian for the title. He fought Bully Rays. Before that, I forgot who he fought, but I don't remember that man.
It was okay.
Eric Young. Was Eric Young?
No, whatever match won an hour.
I don't know the match. I don't even know.
Yeah, so it could have been Cass. Whatever match won an hour, they said it was that he really, had a match of the year. I was like, yeah, well, Impact not gonna be on this list. Just saying. So let's put it that way. But my honorable mentions. Let's get this out the way right now. Honorable mention, because I had fun with this match, and it really don't.
Are you about to say Johnny Knoxville?
I am. I'm about to say Sammy and Johnny Knoxville. I'm sorry. The match,
obviously,
yeah. Does the match really have like a place to be at the best? I'm like, not really, but I had to put an honorable mention because I love Jackass. I love the Jackass stuff. Johnny Knoxville didn't embarrass himself. We made body slam with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, it was like Home Alone in wrestling, and I was like, and he did his best to excel all that stuff. And the only thing is, I'm like, the mousetrap thing didn't work at the end. I was kind of hoping that they didn't botch that or anything like that. But I thought that whole matchup was really creative in doing it, and Sami Zayn deserves a nod for that. So that's one of my honorable mentions. Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough at Halloween Havoc 2022 for the NXT Championship. You talk about a good triple threat match, this is the one that you need to talk about. These guys, Braun Breaker was able to hang, because we've seen Dragunov and McDonough before, saying those are UK guys, but from NXT UK, it was putting in work. Braun Breaker able to hang with both of them. Yeah, I felt as though this was like a good showing for Braun Breaker, and it was a really great matchup. And then my last honorable mention is Anarchy in the Arena. Jericho Appreciation Society taking on the Blackpool Combat Club. This was what the Stadium Stampede is, because it seems like at Double or Nothing is their annual Stadium Stampede type matchup. Well, since Stadium Stampede is more like a cinematic match in a way, whereas you can record different things because they had fun doing that before, this was more so along the lines of live action. We're just going to do things. But what happened was it was just so much shit going on, and it was so great. And having that image of Eddie Kingston coming down bleeding like a horror movie character, trying to set Jericho on fire, is just great to me. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. Do you have any honorable mentions? Because I think I remember hearing you talk about Ricochet and...
Oh yeah, Ricochet, Carmelo Hayes was good. Yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't think of none right now.
Okay. Well,
there's one that I have, but you might have it on your list. I don't know. I'm gonna just wait.
Okay. Well, now we can go in and start talking about them a little bit more. So, when it comes to number 10, Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara, ladder match for the TNT Championship on AEW Dynamite.
I think that was.
It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was a Dynamite, wasn't it?
No, I thought. I'm saying I thought that was like last year.
No, that was the beginning of this year. Like,
okay.
Yeah, early, because usually something happens like early in January, stuff like that. You kind of forget. People don't really start counting anything until WrestleMania on down. But this was a really great ladder match, and Cody went out on his back, knowing that the news that this man was coming back to WWE, coming back home, and which we talked about our 2022 stuff, where Cody left up the house that he helped create. And go back to WWE, and this one was just great, especially that springboard cutter, perfectly executed, A+ chef's kiss off the ladder from Sammy Guevara to Cody Rhodes. It was still a good matchup. It had that, because they had both the TNT championships up there. It had that Shawn and Razor vibe. So I enjoyed this ladder match. You gotta recommend it. Try to go out your way and see it. This is Cody's last match in AEW. Number 9.
For now.
Say what?
For now.
Say no.
I was doing the Bane. For now.
Oh, so, the Bane. Number 9. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for WrestleMania 38. The match that, first of all, everything was great. The entrances were great. The match was great. Bianca got a black eye and made it through the matchup, and Becky put her over because Becky was the one who pinned her in 26 seconds at SummerSlam, and we had the whole story going through. Even though people was pissed, and I was one of them, that Bianca lost that way, Bianca gets her win back at WrestleMania. It wasn't the main event, but her coming out with HBC and Becky coming out with the Marvel stuff, I thought they had the most complete WrestleMania package on night 1. Minus, of course, Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. But I'm saying, but that right there was the second highlight of it. Would you agree with that match?
Yeah, that match was real good.
Yeah. Yeah, like it seemed like, when it got to big moments like WrestleMania, so like that, Bianca step up. So I'm already happy. We already know Becky's been there, so she gonna go out there and she gonna go do her thing. So we know that. Next up, for number 8, I have it for memory alone, and wrestling moments alone, and that is Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens, night 1 of WrestleMania 38.
Nice. Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back after 19 years, and comes back and shocks everyone, because we knew he'll be back, and we knew that he was going to go there and probably do. I thought he was going to do a Piper's Pit thing, where he comes on there, does Piper's Pit, and he goes out there. Kevin Owens talks some trash, and then he gets stunned. That's what I thought was going to happen. But him to come out there, them to give a whole KO show segment. That whole segment was like 10-15 minutes. And then he challenged him to a no-holds-barred match right then and there. And they got another 15 minutes out of Austin. Where I thought it was going to be like, remember when Austin came back in No Way Out 2003 and just beat the shit out of Eric Bischoff?
I told you they was gonna do a match. I told you it's gonna be like a no DQ type of match. And then he just beat him up.
How good did you think Austin was going to be? Like, because at first he started off sluggish.
Well, I'm saying if it was a no DQ match, I thought he was just gonna beat him up and then then Kevin Owens hit a super kick or something, and he hit a stunner, and then just started beating him up and hitting him with stuff. That's what I thought. But
but did I expect like a cannonball on the outside, even though Owens missed? I expect a suplex to Austin on the concrete. Did I expect them to do all the stuff on the stage comeback? I didn't expect half the shit, but him coming back and hit, did I even expect him to hit a stunner on Austin? His own? No, I didn't expect all that shit. And it came out. I was like, you know what, Kevin Owens, you did the right move by staying with WWE and having that moment, because it don't get no bigger than that. Main event WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Get the fuck out of here. So I have to add it. I have to add it to my list. Number 7. I was trying to debate which one would be in my number 7, and I think I'm going to go with this one, and that's the last man standing match between Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. When
Country Boy Brock,
Farmer Brock, Country Boy Brock, Flannel Brock, whatever you want to call him. This, in my personal opinion, was the best match Brock and Roman had since WrestleMania 31. This was the best match they had. They had a shit ton of dust from no matter whether it was cage matches, a fatal 4-way matches, or 1-on-1 matches. It doesn't matter. This last man standing match was the best match they had, especially when it showcased Brock as the kind of like the face, and Roman as the heel. And he comes in with the tractor and lifts the ring up all these feet and leaves it there. That visual of that last man standing match and just that complete carnage of what they did, I thought just made for a decent matchup, and Roman's still coming out and burying Brock, so that has to be number 7. Because it was between that one and another one, which I'm about to say. But how about you on that one? Did you enjoy that matchup too, or what?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was real good. I think that match was good. The only thing I probably didn't like about that match was how stupid Austin Theory was. How you gonna try to cash in on Roman and Brock Lesnar, look at you right in the eye? But
that was. But him getting knocked out by Tyson Fury though. Oh, what? That did happen. No, that happened at the Clash of the Castle. My bad. Yeah, him trying to cash in on Brock with Brock staying right there. That was just stupid. So then that was number 7. Number 6 is the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory, AEW All Out. So Prime saw this matchup live, I think, and I was like, I didn't understand the energy that was happening about him calling an audible for the tag team champion. I was like, what happened? Because everybody was into this match, so I had to go back and watch the match. My God. It's like the Acclaim were paper, and somebody just lit the paper and it caught fire so quick, and you couldn't. It's like I did not understand where all this momentum came from. Like, the crowd really wanted to see the Acclaim beat Swerve in Our Glory. Now I know me and Prime disagree. I'm gonna say because they're like, well, we can make some money off of this match and put it in a bigger stadium where they can have more people and more things. Even and the second match was good, but it wasn't better than that first match. That first match was just hard to replicate, especially with all of the false finishes and the near falls and things like that. So my number 6 has to be Swerve in Our Glory taking on the Acclaim.
I agree with that. That was a good match though.
You was bad afterwards though, but that was a good matchup. Now we made it through half of the top 10. Now we kind of already know what the obvious top matches are, but my question to you is there anything that because we know what the top 5 should be? Is there anything that I missed that you probably wanted to add?
I mean, I still don't know if you got it up there, but so I might still want to wait because it could be in your top 5. I don't know.
Okay. You know what? Then we'll keep on going.
Okay.
Now it's in the top 5. You know, Prime is good at top 5. So In the top 5, coming in at number 5 is the dog collar match: CM Punk versus MJF, AEW Revolution. Even though the full circle story did not happen at AEW, which is CM Punk's fault, the whole story going into it of CM Punk, with his old Ring of Honor gear on, Pepsi plunging it to doing the dog collar. It was a fight, and having Wardlow come out there, knowing the story between Wardlow and MJF, and how he just left the ring in the middle and then walked off, and how nuclear over Wardlow was, and CM Punk becoming the AEW champion. All that stuff combined, especially with the dog collar stipulation, which just makes up for a great encounter by these two. Like I said, it does suck that MJF could not win the championship off of CM Punk, which should have happened, but that, unfortunately is what, happened. So, but it got to be CM Punk versus MJF in AEW Revolution's number 5.
Okay, I like it.
Number 4.
Storyteller.
All right, number 4. Should I switch them? No, I'm gonna keep it. Number 4, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy, Forbidden Door. This has to be a testament of fate. The universe talking to you. However you want to program this. And that is that Orange Cassidy that night made a believer out of me. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was not a big fan of the Orange Cassidy gimmick at all. And I was just like, okay, I don't get it. Whatever. It's kind of like Danhausen, but it wasn't as bad as Danhausen, but I was like, so eventually he's going to have to like wrestle. And then, yes, he had some good matches with Jericho and had some good matches in other AEW talent. I was like, but we're talking about Will Ospreay here. Like, do you know who the fuck this is? And the only reason why it was Orange Cassidy is because half the card was injured. Come from Forbidden Door. Half of the card was injured, and I mean, like, the main event would have been dead. CM Punk was injured. He was supposed to go up against because Moxley would have been, was it Tomohiro Ishii?
Who? CM Punk.
Remember CM Punk was supposed to go against who?
CM Punk was supposed to go against Tanahashi.
Tanahashi, yeah. But then we ended up getting Moxley doing that. We were supposed in that Fatal 4-Way with Jay White, Adam Cole, Okada, and it was supposed to be somebody else. He got injured, and they had to put the other guy in there. Yeah,
a lot of people got injured.
So, Will Ospreay was supposed to take on, was it Andrade? I'm not necessarily sure, but that's what Andrade would have said. But he had to be an Orange Cassidy, and boy, did they tear the house down in that matchup, from everything from close near falls to even Will Ospreay ripping off Orange Cassidy's pockets and even going there pulling the bird out. I thought it was great. That matchup was great. Now it's time for the top 3. Coming in at number 3, Cody Rhodes. My apologies. We'll turn that down. Alright. Coming in at number 3, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell, from Hell in a Cell, which will probably be the last Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up, because Triple H got rid of it, because you never know what can happen in the future. But yeah, Hell in a Cell 2022. Cody pulls his pec. He just rips his whole pec off the bone. It's a huge bruise. The blood clots up in there. Everything is just as purple and blue. When he takes his jacket off, like, it's gnarly disgusting. But for him to go out there and have not a good but a great Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins, along with Seth, mocking his dad with the polka dot tights on, and they actually took theirs. Like, it really felt brutal and hard to watch at times, and that's how a Hell in a Cell match should be. And it should be meant to be blowing off the feud, and I think they did a good job at doing that. And Cody also has something to prove to Vince McMahon that he is here and he can be a main event player for him. So yeah, that was him just like, I'm going to prove this to Vince. That's what that was. So that has to come in number 3. Would you agree with that, or would you put it higher? Because some people had this as their match of the year. I don't think it's my match of the year. But
I think it's a match of the year, but storyline wise of how they played it out, I can see why people will put it as their match of the year. Like, because he was actually hurt and stuff like that. I can see how people would have this as their match of the year.
Yeah. Number 2 comes no surprise. Sheamus versus Gunther, Clash of the Castle. Sheamus is 45 years old. And this past year, this man has been delivering banger after banger after banger after banger. And it's like he had a career resurgence this year. Like, that's hard to do. He went out there, he did that, and I'm just saying, Sheamus, props off to you.
I'll be honest. I thought Sheamus' career was over when the bar broke up. I was like, dang, now Sheamus ain't gonna have nothing to do.
Shit. Look at Sheamus. Like people is enjoying Sheamus. I'm just saying, like, you know, Sheamus is one of the most underrated people that they got. But I'm like, this past year, like the matches he's been having, especially with Gunther, oh my God, that was a classic. Like, Sheamus was beat to shit after that matchup, chest all red and everything, and then of course he gets a standing ovation from the audience in Cardiff. It was just a great visual to see. I'm just saying, I'm mad that they're not going to run it back so Sheamus can win the championship, because it looks like they got some plans for Gunther anyway for WrestleMania, and I'm not sure how I feel about those. I know you probably heard the plans already, right? If you did or you didn't.
I think, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I am good. So now, when it comes to my number 1, I'm cheating a little bit, but I have to. And when it comes to my number 1 match of the year, it's FTR versus the Briscoes trilogy. Damn tag team matches that they had, from the first one to, like, you rarely see matches get better as they go on. You rarely see that. And some people may argue, I like the first one a little bit better, but it's not like the second one sucked, and then we get to third, like, and the finale being a double dog collar matchup. These teams showed you what tag team wrestling is about, and the Briscoes just show, you know, how much they can work, and how much of a, you know, asset they could be, especially to the Ring of Honor brand. But FTR, because if Dax Harwood is not even considered for Wrestler of the Year by himself, for the matches he's had by himself this year, that's a travesty. But having them together as a group, my God, FTR killed it this year. They killed, especially almost winning all the belts at the same time. Still not the AEW Tag Team Championships, but they, from AAA to Impact to Ring of Honor and all that stuff like that, they have been out there just been belt collecting, and having them in the Briscoes, it can't pick just one. It's a trilogy of matches, and I went and picked that whole trilogy of matches as my best match of the year.
I have a few honorable mentions. Well, I just have something I want to mention. I don't know how you gonna feel about this one, but I mean, I look, it was a good match to me. I enjoyed myself. Logan Paul and Roman Reigns.
You know what? I can't get. You know what? That should have been in my honorable mention also. Logan Paul, my God, how much I can't stand Logan Paul, has come in there and shown that he can go out there and do this. And it's like, I mean, he can do it well. I'm almost ready to say he does it better than Pat McAfee. Hey. And Pat McAfee is good. Like, Pat McAfee has shown that he can do this as well. But I'm just saying that it looks like Logan Paul can just do this a little bit more crisper than Pat McAfee can.
Yeah. I would say either that. I'm gonna say the Elite versus was it Aussie Open?
Yes.
It's Will Ospreay and his group. And they had the trios match. That was a very good match to me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that one. Yes.
I think this happened this year, but I'm not sure. Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page when they went an hour.
That happened this year.
Oh well, yeah, that's definitely up there then.
Yeah, at the oh my god, that was, man. I did miss some bangers. I'm glad you brought them to my attention.
Yeah, and then this is kind of cheating too. Mostly every Dax Harwood match in the classic with the Bret Hart, the Owen Hart Cup.
Yeah,
most of his matches in there was good too.